everyone. Today we have Ansel from TriggerPoint, and he's going to show us how to use some of the tools that we have at our store.
Yeah, thanks Mary Rose. Thanks for having me, Naperville Running Company. So what we're actually going to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to use the tools that are part of our TriggerPoint Performance Collection. What we're going to do is actually show you how to use the foot roller. This is a great foam rolling technique that's actually going to help out with those like tight calves. Tight calves are a big part. If you guys have ever had like plantar fasciitis, shin splints, Achilles pain, tight calves are a big cause of that. So we're going to use these unique tools to show you guys how to roll out those tight calves. Specifically, we're going to focus on a muscle called the soleus. So the key here is getting it into the right position and the right placement. So I'm going to take the roller, I'm going to place it on the foam block, and Mary Rose, I'm going to have you lift your leg up. Place the roller on the block, and I'm going to have you relax your leg onto the roller. So the soleus muscle, actually, if you look at the calf, once that muscle kind of comes down to that sort of teardrop shape, that's where we're going to want to place our leg onto the roller. So I'm going to adjust you to get you into position, and I'm going to rotate you to your little bit more towards the neutral spot, because we're actually going to do three zones or three spots with this foam rolling release. The idea here is that we want to just be thorough with our foam rolling technique. We also want to apply a little bit of pressure so we can get deep into that muscle tissue. So I'm going to have you take your opposite leg and I'm going to have you cross over to apply some of that pressure. Now what we've done is we've gotten deep into the muscle tissue where those knots and those adhesions form that causes that muscle tightness. The first thing that we're going to do is actually take the muscle through its range of motion. So what that means, well, Mary Rose, what I want you to do, I want you to take your leg that's on the roller and you're going to make circles with your foot. Doing about 3 to 4 circles going clockwise and then 3 to 4 going counterclockwise. This is to help stretch that muscle out. What we're trying to do here is reintroduce some elasticity and some flexibility back into the muscle. Basically, we're helping that movement pattern, so getting that foot to be able to move like we want it to. Now that we've done that, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you more actually bend at your knee, the leg that's on the roller, and then straighten it back out so that we go back and forth on the roller. The idea here is that we want to think about like slower, more controlled motions. Basically, we're being a little bit more thorough with the process. This is going to be the first of 3 different spots that we do. And again, just kind of getting that good, thorough release. So usually just counting to about 9 to 10. And then what we want to do is relax, straighten the leg back out. And now we're going to actually slightly rotate to the outside, or the lateral position. This is our second of 3 zones, and we're going to do the exact same techniques, starting off with our foot circles, going clockwise and counterclockwise. Again, what we're doing here is just helping to break up some of that muscle tissue and just being a little bit more thorough. All the while we're doing this, what we want to make sure is we're staying relaxed as possible, breathing. We want to get that oxygen going, get that good blood flow going. It's going to help facilitate the healing response. So now that we've done the outside zone, you guys might have guessed it, we are going to now turn towards the inside, or more of the medial zone, with a slight rotation to the inside, and it's going to be the exact same techniques. Most of you guys might be feeling this part a little bit more. We all kind of tend to move our feet a little bit differently, so it's going to be different for some, but again, that's why we want to be thorough with it. And again, same thing, we're going to follow up with our knee bends. Nice, slower, more kind of controlled, deliberate motions. Now that we've covered all 3 zones, there's one last thing that we want to do. We want to apply a little bit of cross friction to the release. So basically this is going to help break that muscle tissue up a little bit better. So now that we've finished up with that, what it's going to be is actually a little bit more of like a side to side motion into the roller. So basically kind of just taking it and again helping to just kind of break that muscle tissue up a little bit. And there we go. Now let's actually stand up and kind of walk that out and see how we feel. Should feel a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit looser. Got good blood flow going to it. And that's what elasticity and flexibility should feel like. So now, Mary Rose, what we're going to do now is actually focus on some upper body releases. Specifically, what we want to do is like neck, chest, shoulders. You ever get that kind of tight, shoulder pain, neck pain while you're at work? This is going to be a great tool to use and a great release to do. So we're going to use the ChargeVibe. So this is actually what we call a vibrating peanut. What's great about this is we still again kind of have that gradient density. It's going to be firm to get deep into the muscle tissue, but still soft, so it's not going to cause any damage. But we have this gap here. What's key about that is it's actually going to gap the spine. So we're only going to work on soft muscle tissue, and we're going to avoid putting any bad pressure on the spine. This actually is our vibrating peanut, so it's got 3 vibration settings. What vibration does is it actually helps to relax the muscle tissue a little bit better, kind of helps to take away that pain that's typically associated with foam rolling, so it should feel a little bit more comfortable. So Mary Rose, what we're first going to do is we're going to get the vibration going. So I'm going to turn the ChargeVibe on, set it to our second setting. This is again just going to help relax and make sure that the foam rolling feels a little bit more comfortable. The next step is going to be make sure that we get into the right target position. So what we actually want to do, because a lot of that soreness and tightness in the neck and shoulders is going to come from the thoracic areas, of the thoracic part of the spine. So kind of thinking more about like if you were to squeeze your shoulder blades back, that's generally where we're going to want to place the roller. Now everyone's going to be a little bit different, so feel free to adjust, but this is where we're going to want to start. So I'm going to place the roller on the ground, and I'm going to have you slowly lean back into the roller, lining it up more in that thoracic area. Now if you guys notice, I have the foam block here to help keep Mary Rose's head up. Doing it at home, you always want to make sure just to have like a pillow or something to help keep your neck propped up and supported. So, how's that feel? So the first thing that we want to do is we actually want to start getting some movement going. Again, the vibration is helping to work out some of that tightness there in the thoracic, kind of like the shoulder blade area. But now we want to incorporate the chest, neck, and shoulders as well. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm actually going to have you bring your arms out to the side with your palms facing up. So what you should notice here is you should feel a good stretch more in like kind of where the chest area. This actually, what we can do is hold it here for 30, 45 seconds, and again, just get a good stretch. A lot of folks, you know, some driving at work, typing, bringing kind of those shoulders forward helps to cause a lot of that tightness. So it's good to get a stretch going. And now what we want to do is work the shoulder a little bit. So what I'm going to have you do, Mary Rose, is I'm going to have you make a snow angel. So you're going to bring your arms up, slowly, again, kind of same principles. We want to do slow, controlled, thorough, and like deliberate motions. And now you're going to bring your arms down.
All the way down to my side.
Yep. So you should feel this working in several different areas. Again, shoulder, neck. What we're doing is, again, just working out that tightness. There's also several other techniques that we can do. You can give yourself a hug. And then what I want you to do now is kind of move side to side into the roller. This should, again, really actually break up some of that tightness there in the shoulder blades. You can also do, again, kind of working more on that shoulder rotation, is like a back pedal motion. So you can bring your one arm back, keeping one arm down, hold, and then alternate. And again, you can actually do the same kind of thing that we did when our first release, where our arms were out to the side. You can actually hold the arm there, and you should feel a good stretch. Even sometimes, you know, all the way up back into like the behind the neck, just those areas that we typically find ourselves having a lot of tightness and a lot of pain. How's that feeling?
Really nice. Actually very good.
Good. There's a few others that we can do too. What you can actually do is slightly rotate your neck. And you should hopefully feel a good stretch there as well. So again, because a lot of those muscles that start here in the shoulder blades actually go up and they insert back into the neck and behind the head. So again, just really ways to help work out some of those joints and work out some of that tightness. So Mary Rose, how are we feeling?
Not too bad right now.
Oh, good. Oh, right on. Well, that's good. That's good news, actually, because what we're going to do next is I'm actually going to show you how to roll out the dreaded IT band. So for those of us that don't know, that IT band is a tendon that actually starts on the hips, runs down the side of the leg, and inserts onto the knee. Guys ever had IT band syndrome before? What that kind of feels like? You ever get that pain kind of on the outside of the knee? And that's IT band syndrome. A lot of that is going to be caused by, again, a tight IT band. So the good news here, if you ever tried to roll your IT band before, it can be pretty painful.
Oh, yeah.
But what we're going to do today is going to show you a tool that's going to help make it feel a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to use our new GridVibe Plus, a little bit of an updated version of our previous GridVibe. This is a vibrating foam roller, and as we mentioned before, what that vibration does is going to help relax the body, help kind of take away the pain that's typically associated. So we're not as intense, it's feeling a little bit more comfortable, and it's going to help make rolling that IT band a little bit better. And what's cool about the GridVibe Plus is that this actually now has 4 total vibration settings, starting at 40 hertz and going up from there. It's a matter of personal preference as far as to which setting you'd like to use, but again, the more vibration, it's going to help again make it feel a little bit more comfortable. So we'll go ahead and get this going, and I'll help get you into the right position in order to roll out, and we'll show you guys how to do the IT band. So Mary Rose, now what we're here is we're in the best position to help roll out that IT band. So we're actually doing the left leg. So what we've done is we've placed the roller more in the middle of like the upper left leg. The one thing with the IT band that I see a lot is some folks kind of start up a little bit higher, closer, like higher up on the hips. You always want to be careful going up that high because there's some tissue that you could irritate, bursa sac, that type of thing. So you always want to kind of avoid that area. You also don't want to roll on the side of the knee. I know that's where we're feeling some of the pain with IT band syndrome. Those are the symptoms, but the cause of it is going to be more, in the middle, kind of like the belly of the tendon. So what we've done is we've gotten the roller placed right more in the middle of the upper leg. We've also brought our opposite leg over with our foot on the ground to help keep supported. You don't actually have to kind of take your leg, foot off the ground. That doesn't really add too much. We've already gotten, again, deep into the muscle tissue already. And what having our leg does is it helps us stabilize and it helps us control the motion a little bit. We've got our Grid Vibe Plus turned on, so it's helping that, again, that vibration. What we're doing is we're now kind of relaxing the muscle a little bit. So, but the first thing that we want to do to help, again, kind of break up some of that tightness with the IT band is we want to do a little bit of cross friction. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hips and I want you to kind of twist and turn to go back into the roller to help ease up some of that tension. Twist, turn, maybe shout. Again, and it's some of the same techniques that we did for the soleus, again, getting some of that cross friction, those slower, more controlled, more deliberate motions. We're not really going all the way, kind of up and down, back and forth. We're kind of being, again, more deliberate with it. Now what I want you to do, now that we've got that, again, kind of worked out a little bit, what you're going to do is you're going to take your left leg, which again is the leg that we're rolling out, it's the leg that's on the roller, and I want you to slowly bend your left knee. And if you guys can see that, what this is doing is it's actually helping to stretch out that muscle a little bit. Again, we're reintroducing some elasticity and some flexibility back into the body. We'll edit some of this out maybe. So it usually just takes a good stretch going just as far as you can. Again, the more we foam roll, the better it starts to feel. We start to, again, stretch that muscle tissue out. It's not as tight. It doesn't feel as painful. So.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you so much, Ansel. That was amazing.
No problem. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling nice and loose, especially on my left side.
Good. We always want to stay balanced, though. So.
All right. I'll make sure I go and do the other side later on today. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. If you have any other questions about TriggerPoint or anything, you can stop in any of our locations. All of our staff are able to answer your questions about any of those things.